Good morning, guys. Let's just do a real quick setup and start. Okay, so I have the new lid that I made for you. I used these little irrigation couplers and stuck them on there. And then you'll have a hole where the hose from your aquarium bubbler goes in and goes down. Okay, and then of course we have our our silver loops. Now, silver is a very soft metal, so as you can see, you can easily bend it and shape it. So I suggest that when you shape it, evenly like this, you can squeeze it together. Make one side just a little bit shorter than the other. Okay? So, that makes it easy to insert them. So hold it up, stick the long end in one little gizmo. Once it gets started, you stick the other one in. It makes it easy so they don't wiggle around a lot to have the one a little bit longer. Push it up through, just about that much, about a ½ inch to an inch. Okay, let's get and let's go back to cleaning. When you're done, you'll notice there'll be a little goo on it. Sometimes it's a little white mineral deposit, sometimes it's a little black stuff. Just take a paper towel and lightly wipe it off. Then take your little scrubby. And silver is very soft, so you don't scrub hard. If you were to just slide it down gently on both sides till it looks shiny. And if you do this over the table, you may notice a little black stuff falling off, and that'll be the dirty stuff. So we don't want to scrub this hard and go through the silver. Use it up just enough to make it shiny so we have a good clean surface. And that will allow the electricity to run through it easily. Okay. All right, so now I've got them both done. I'll stick it in and let's get them evenly spaced. Okay, let's look at what I got now. I put them in. I can easily twist these. Bend and twist. And let's try to get them looking side to side even too. Okay, let me do this. This will allow the electricity to flow more smoothly between the two. You avoid any places where there's too much electricity rather than to get a hot spot. Okay, now that's pretty evenly done side to side. So when it goes into the jar, for some reason I got a little bit of a twist, but the main thing is we'll get them in the jar, and they're pretty evenly spaced between the walls, so the water's equal all around them. And when the electricity passes from one set of rods to the other, it will be even, and it'll fill the water with the silver more evenly. All right, now notice, here's the first rod here, okay? Here's the second one here. So we'll call the first rod power in and the second one power out. Power's going to go in with our little power supply here. It's got two leads coming off of it. The red one is positive, that's power going in. DC current is directional, so it goes one way, goes through, and comes out the other. AC power goes back and forth. So this is direct current, not alternating current. So what we want is we want the power to go in on one rod, go through the water, and come out the other rod. So we'll put a red on the first rod, going in, black on the second one, coming out. You can see the rods on the side. Then we'll go plug this in. I'll show you this in a second. And then we have our little aquarium bubbler. And we'll take the hose, hook it up, and it's got a little directional flow thing that prevents any water from siphoning back into the bubbler. That's all that's for. So when you put it on, make sure you have it directional. It sort of points the forward way as a little cone. Okay. Now, I'll turn it on and you'll hear the bubbler go on. People used to just do it with electricity only, but they found out that the silver was more concentrated in the middle by the rods and not out around the water. And this tended to make more silver in the middle, so you had more electricity flowing faster and faster, and the job got done sooner. Well, we really want to have the silver evenly dispersed around there. The main reason is the slower you make it, the smaller the particle size, which is better. The bigger the particle size, you get into the area where it starts turning colors like yellow. Okay, the smaller stuff will be clear or silvery. So they found out that if they stirred the water, then you didn't get too much electricity between the rods, and the silver kept flowing all around evenly, and it slowed down the process, and this made much smaller size, which is even better. And it turned out that using a little aquarium bubbler was as good as any kind of fancy stirring device. Okay, now, one more thing is I've given you this little thing. This is an LED light. There's a little LED light in here, and they have very fine wires, which are difficult to use. So I made up this gizmo. I put it inside here. And the purpose of this is, it's just a visual. You can hear the bubbler going, so you know there's electricity there, but it might be nice to have some way of being assured that the electricity is really in there. I guess it's, you know that electricity is going to the bubbler, but are you sure that it's going here? So I made a little light indicator. Now here's how you put it on. You take the long cable and you put it on the same loop as the red coming in, and then the other one just goes to the other side. You see that? See how it went on? And if you were to put it on in the reverse of this, no light would come on. No harm done, but this is directional too. So the power comes in through the red, goes down through this loop, comes up, and it goes this way in, then it goes back and out the black one. Now, I suggest you run it for 1 hour. And that gives you a good concentration of silver in there. It will most likely be clear. It doesn't matter if you run it longer than an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever you want. I have it plugged in right now into just an ordinary computer power strip, so I can flip the switch and they both go on at the same time. If you want to get a little fancier later on, you can go buy yourself a little timer like this. I got these on Amazon. $2, $10 for 2 of them, or $5, very cheap. You want to get one that's got a plug on one side and a plug on the other, so you can plug in your bubbler and plug in your power supply. Then you just set the amount you want by pushing down these little buttons on here, and you turn it, a little on mark, you turn it till you click. Turn it slowly, and when the bubbler clicks on, then you leave it alone and it'll run half hour, 1 hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, however you want to do. That way you can set it and walk away. You can go to the store and not worry about it. Otherwise, you got to sit there with it. So that's the easy how to get started method. I'll give you another video with more details in case you want to be a little geekier, but that's all you need to know now. Oh, when you're done, take it, pour it through a coffee filter, just to get out any small things in it, little bits of silver. And after you're done, you pour it into a jar, preferably a colored jar, stored out of light. Clean your bottle out, because if you look in the bottom, you'll see there may be some silver has settled there. No harm done. But the next time you make a batch and you put fresh distilled water in, that silver is going to go into the water and make it more electrically conductive, and that'll speed your process up. We don't want to speed our process up. We want to start with completely distilled water, which is barely electrically conductive. Okay, so just look in the bottom and you'll see it. You can wipe it out, wash it out. No big thing if you forget. Okay, that's it for the first one.